Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of our visual podcast series.
What's the podcast called, Zach?
Stop. Book return. It's the visual book return. I'm Zach, the information manager.
I'm Brittany, the library director.
And I'm Chloe, one of the clerks.
How are you guys feeling?
I'm pretty good.
Things are different.
They are.
I can see you guys better.
Yeah, this is a better setup.
So we're hanging out on a bus. Kind of.
Right.
I think so.
Buses have a curved...
Never ridden one. Today we're talking...
Well, the wheels go round and round.
That's true.
Very true. We're all swiveling.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about reader's advisory.
Yeah.
Just as a general concept, first off, and then one of us is going to get hit with a hot dose of...
It's been long promised, friend, and it's finally going to happen.
I know.
Yeah.
I need it, desperately.
It's a good thing.
It is.
Yeah. I'm slowly easing back into reading, and I feel like this is going to give me the kick in the pants.
What have you
that I
been
need.
reading?
I've been reading a series of unfortunate events.
The Bad Beginning.
Bad beginning. And then just as I'm sitting on the floor with my youngest child, I'll pull something off the bookshelf and read 3 pages.
Perfect.
Just 3 random pages.
Yeah, like last
good.
night we were playing Keepy Uppy while I was
Fun.
reading Noam Chomsky's Manufacturing Consent.
Good book.
I
Seems
think
like
so.
a self-sabotage.
A little bit.
little
I don't
bit.
think you're going to keep
dense.
it up or... and
Also,
retain
yeah,
anything.
I had no expectations of actually finishing the book.
Okay.
It's just it's an interesting concept. Just about control in the media. But
Interesting.
yeah, so hopefully you guys have something slightly different than Chomsky.
Oh, you know
No
it.
Chomsky.
A little bit
No,
lighter,
no, there's no danger of that.
which I don't mind. I need a challenge.
Yeah.
So what do we think Reader's Advisory is?
It's one of the backbones of the library. It's one of the reasons why some people come to see us to get their books and not just go to the bookstore or...
Or order books online or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just suggesting books either. It's kind of having a deep conversation with the patron to figure out
Yeah.
exactly what they like.
What kind of books, and not just books themselves, but genres and types and all
Yes.
sorts of media, because
Yeah.
we do advisory for audiobooks and we do advisory for movies
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff.
Especially if they're like kind of new to reading or haven't read in a very long time, then asking them about like movies and TV they like helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool way to get to know people too.
Yeah.
It's nice when they come back in, you ask them about a specific book that they checked out, and then it kind of builds on that.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite things.
People come in a lot of times and they just drop their books off and they pick up new ones and leave, and we're always like, no, tell us about the books you read, because
I love that one. I want to know.
I know,
Yeah.
books are our business, and so
Yeah.
we want to know what people think about them. And when readers come in and they do tell us, like, oh, this one wasn't for me, we often will ask why. That way we don't recommend any more that are kind of along the same lines that
Yeah.
might be misses for them.
Yeah, and that's helpful with recommending books to other patrons too.
Yeah,
who
for
might
sure.
have similar tastes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Got kind of like a loose review system that we do now, because we have little Post-its in our books where you can write your initials, but some of our patrons will put a plus next to their initials if it's really good,
Yeah.
or 2 pluses if it's great, and then minuses in the other direction.
If they don't like it.
Yeah. That's
Kind
nice.
of, I wish everybody would do that, because it's so interesting to see what
Sure,
people
yeah,
are
it is.
enjoying. And
Yeah. I always forget to even initial them, and then I don't remember if I've read it
yeah,
until I start it again.
yeah, it's a cool system.
It is.
So are we going to role play? Am I going to be the patron? You guys tell me what to read? I mean, you guys already have stuff picked out.
Yeah,
We
we
do already have
prepared in
stuff picked
advance.
out.
Yeah, I feel like we've been.
I've had my books ready for like a month now.
That's
It's
fair.
been at least a month since we started talking about
and
this.
I pulled mine today.
But you knew what you were going to pull.
yeah, I'd kind of been stewing on it this whole time.
But if I'm the patron, I come in and I'm like, I want to read this.
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to throw stuff that you guys like at me. But you picked it based
feel
on my
like-
personality,
yes.
I'm guessing. So
Yeah,
it's
we've been.
Reader's
Yes, this whole
Advisory.
podcast has kind of been preparing us to reader advise you.
It's like a book
I think so
intervention,
too. It is. It's exactly right.
which I need.
Yep. And I would never just recommend something that only I like to readers without them saying, or at least giving me some sort of direction
Right.
to go in. That's bad reader's advisory.
Right.
Do that.
You just push the books that you like.
Yeah. One of the best feelings, though, is when you get to know somebody and you realize that their tastes align with yours. And you're like, I can recommend my favorite stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I wait nervously until they finish it because I'm like I'm gonna act not heartbroken if you hate it, but like it's hard to mask.
Yeah. The good thing about our staff is we all read different things. Like we have a really Michelle really likes like mysteries and inspirational, which I don't really read much of either of those. But like I know what good ones are because I know what Michelle reads.
Sure.
So that like can help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Betty reads the gardening books.
And the cat
And the
books.
cat books.
cat books. And she's done some audiobooks of like not inspiration authors.
Some
but
memoirs.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, she does like memoirs. Yeah.
She's on a big Prince Harry kick, I guess.
Yeah. How is she?
He's got
She
a lot
read
of books.
Spare.
She
Yeah,
did.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's that new one coming out.
It's out. It's out.
Cool.
There were lots of TikTok videos about it yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, interesting.
For better or worse.
Scandal, I guess.
I mean, that's if I'm going to read a memoir, I want it to be like
A tell.
cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be I don't know, the
Sanitized.
Richard Karn. He played Al Borland in Home Improvement and went on to be the host of Family Feud
He
for
did. Yes, he
4
did.
seasons.
I didn't know that he went to
Was
do
it only
Family
4?
Feud.
I don't know, because there's what's his name? Jay Peterman from Seinfeld. He took it over for a while.
Huh. I don't know.
But I don't know. Now it's Stephen Harvey.
It is
Forever.
indeed.
Yeah, hopefully. He's great. We actually have staff recommendations out on the floor now, so it's kind of like a passive reader's advisory.
Yeah.
So I feel like our patrons know us well enough now to know, like,
I think so.
whose opinions they respect.
Or whose taste they align with.
That's what I meant to say.
Also, which books in the piles out there must have been read 3 or more years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. Also true.
Oh. So yeah,
All right. We are going to remedy that for you today.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Give me some stuff.
Are you scared?
No,
What do you expect us to recommend
Yeah.
you?
I don't know. I've given it zero thought.
Really?
I didn't want to give it any thought because I want it to be a genuine, like, yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
it's interesting.
All right.
I feel like I'm going to be surprised and, like, at the same time, like,
Yeah.
makes sense. We'll
Yeah,
do that.
I tried to pick stuff that, because we've given you a lot of recommendations, so I tried
Yeah.
to pick stuff we hadn't really.
I did too.
Yeah, but I don't think there'll be any books that are like entirely new to you. Like I think you'll have heard of all of them.
And I tried to pick stuff that I actually thought you would be interested in. No curveballs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
no, I really like this, so I'm going to tell you you have to read it.
Exactly.
But you selected several, right? So
I
I'm
did.
assuming there's,
Yeah.
like, some, like, maybe outliers, slight curveballs.
Maybe.
I think
Okay.
I think you would genuinely like all the ones
I think
picked.
so too.
What was your deciding process when you're thinking of me?
Knowing what your interests are, knowing that what your time constraints are, knowing that you have interest in different types of media also.
Sure.
So
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about the time constraint as well. And also, like, it's kind of intimidating if you're trying to get back into reading to start with a huge book.
Yep.
So none of mine are particularly giant, even though I know you could do a giant book. It's just a little easier to start.
Yeah.
Smaller.
I read Infinite Jest.
Did you?
I did.
That's crazy. Like, why?
I don't know.
Did you like it?
what is the reason?
To say you read Infinite Jest?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason anyone reads it.
I was hanging out with, like, MFA kids, and I was like, check me out.
Uh-huh.
Remember that part from Gravity's Rainbow?
Did you read that?
I tried. That one was too, like, Thomas Pynchon. He's a bit too cerebral.
Yeah, that one's not even very long. It's just dense, right?
It's like maybe just shy of 400
Oh,
pages.
okay. It's
Rainbow's
decently
big.
long.
The only
Okay.
pension I've read is Get the Crying of Lot 49,
Even that
which is
was
smaller,
like
but
it's still insanity.
it's hard.
And I think even Thomas Pynchon was like, "You're not totally supposed to understand Gravity's Rainbow."
Yeah.
It's like, why?
What's the point? Like, does he understand it?
Like he says he did, but I don't know if that's true. I'm sure like there was something going on in his brain, but it's like when you do like too cerebral,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
feel
get the point of making it totally impenetrable.
It's just not fun. It's
Yeah.
like making reading a chore, and people get burned out when reading is a chore.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're like really dense, like hardcore, like adult literature, like Ulysses, like a lot of James Joyce. Like I don't know if it's
It's
just
like a
my.
whole class in graduate school on Joyce.
You told, yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
That sounds fascinating and terrible.
Finnegan's Wake and Ulysses and
Dubliners?
Dubliners, absolutely.
That one
Yeah.
I read some of. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
Like, because he writes in dialect sometimes.
He
I
does.
think.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, to a fault, maybe. The one thing that I remember from Ulysses was like he spent 2 pages describing like the contents of his pocket. Like he was just walking down the street, and his hand was in his pocket, and it was like he didn't realize that it was that's what he was describing because it's supposed to be open for interpretation, but then like when he
interesting.
pulled back, it's like that has to be like really difficult to write.
Yeah.
But,
I don't think. Yeah.
yeah.
Brittany's kids are at the door. That's why we're
Just like
tell what's happening.
smushed up
They're being
against.
really cute and funny, and I'm trying to keep a straight face.
I couldn't with that last.
They're so adorable.
I didn't expect their face to be mushed up against the glass
Squashed their nose a
with like
little.
no expression.
So goofy.
Oh, dear. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You know what's not in my pile for you? James Joyce.
Me neither. Didn't
That's
even
fine.
enter into my mind. Yeah.
Slightly
Yeah.
disappointed, but not at all.
I tried to pick things that were similar in genre to what you normally read. And I don't know. Just like a little bit different than what you would normally pick for yourself, I think.
I need that.
Yeah. I think I just picked things that are easy. What you normally pick for yourself mostly.
That's fine.
Just the same genres, a little easier.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. It's not a
Bluey.
bad thing though. Yeah, it's all bluey. Yeah.
Okay, I've read them
I
all.
didn't even think about Bluey. That would have been a great choice.
That would have been.
I've read
yeah.
all those books.
I bet you have many times.
Sometimes in one sitting.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
You know you're struggling when you have a bookmark for a child's book.
Some of them are long.
They are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of the Captain Underpants books.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Takes me 3
Yeah.
or 4 months to read one of those.
That's like not like a little kid book. I was thinking you were putting bookmarks in EJ books.
Yeah, in your
I
picture
have.
books.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Some are still long.
Yeah,
like
that's
60
true.
pages.
There's some that,
That's
yeah.
true.
You
Yeah.
pick it up and it seems thin, but then the pages are just super
And
thin.
they have a lot of text on them.
And now that my oldest can read, I can't skip stuff. So he's like, why didn't you read the
Same.
dialogue?
Yeah.
You missed a page.
Like, no.
Yeah. It's like they
The-
understand continuity. It's like, darn it.
Read that page yesterday. It's still the
Don't
same.
remember. Yeah.
The acorn got sad. It's still the same.
Aw.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys have.
All right. Want me to go first? I'll do one first. Do you want to
Yeah.
just go back and forth?
perfect.
All right. My first choice for you is Good Omens.
Hey. Okay.
So this is season 1 of Good Omens.
Love both
This
of them.
is based on a book by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. And the premise of this is that there is an angel, played by Michael Sheen, and a demon, played by David Tennant. And David Tennant lives on Earth. Michael Sheen goes back and forth between heaven and earth, and he brings the message to David Tennant that God is going to initiate the apocalypse. And so neither one of them want this to happen. And so they decide that they are going to work together to make it so that the apocalypse does not happen. They both have very different reasons for not wanting the apocalypse to happen, but they are going to work together to prevent the apocalypse. It's hysterical. Season 2, it just started filming, and so that is my number 1 choice for you.
Good choice.
It is maybe 6 episodes.
Can I have seen approximately 3/4 of one of them?
Okay.
I like their back and forth, very pithy,
They're
very
very
British,
funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're super funny.
aggressively British,
think I
which
watched-
I'm a fan of.
Yes, me too. I think I watched like 3 episodes, and I'm not sure why I stopped. But I really liked it. I think I decided I wanted to read the book first, which I did.
Sure.
And I liked the book too, but it's very different from the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still funny, but not the same. I don't know, less of them and more of like the kids in the book.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see why they changed that for the show.
The kids are deeply boring.
Yes.
But the book was still fun. But the show I think is better.
I did enjoy the book. I struggle with
Yeah.
it slightly just because like books with humor in it, I get distracted and I don't know.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before, but it's just like I feel deeply uncomfortable reading humor in a book.
Book humor.
Same,
Sure.
usually. Yeah.
Don't get it. But like Terry Pratchett's different. He's kind of like Douglas Adams in that
Sure.
it's like very
Yep.
like self-referential and meta. So
And
like I still
British.
enjoyed it.
It feels very British.
Yeah.
It does.
And that's a good thing.
I still want to read Terry Pratchett's Discworld series, even though it's
Oh,
like
I have
70
not read
books.
one single book
Me
of that.
neither. I've heard it's so good,
I have to.
but that's so much.
I get like
is so
one of our
much.
patrons was like, you have to read it the first 25 or like mid, but then it like
What?
gets really good. I'm like, get out. Like I'm not doing that.
I will not be doing one. Not even one.
No.
Yeah. No.
There's a guy that I'm now friends with who I respect, and he knows that I'll never read it, watch any of his suggestions.
And he still likes you? Mm-hmm. That's good.
He gave me a board game.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Board
Brandon-
games are good.
Yeah.
They're good. He works at a
Should've
place
got
where
a
they get a
game
bunch
for
of
you.
like damaged, so he just brings me damaged board games.
That's really cool.
And I continue to not do him any favors at all.
He probably doesn't expect anything in return. It's a gift, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
super cool.
Good.
He is cool.
Cool.
Cool guy.
Okay. My first recommendation. Are you laughing at the book I picked?
No, I should have expected
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Is The Magicians.
Yeah. That's a great choice.
It is really good.
Yeah.
I think you've heard me talk about it on this podcast
Yes,
before.
you love the show.
I love the show, but I would recommend reading the book first.
Okay.
Actually, it doesn't matter, I don't think, because they're so different.
Interesting.
But the book is like really kind of slow and dry and like sad.
Okay.
And so I think you might like that like depressing it's like post high school, post college, like him being like, the fantasy is real, but like my life still sucks. I don't know.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. Like I have magic, but like everything is still terrible.
It's got a blurb from Yino Diaz, who wrote The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde, which was one of my favorite books.
There you go. Yeah, it's a trilogy.
I don't know if I knew that. Okay.
All three are quite good. Very, very different from the show, but
Interesting.
both are great.
You said that you prefer the show more, don't you?
I think so, because I
Okay.
think it still does the same themes that the book does in a more engaging way, but I think the book is still good. And you might like the book even more than I did, because you kind of like that slow, sad stuff, I think.
Sure do.
Yeah, and I do too, but
In
I
all
like
mediums.
had the show in my head. So I think
Okay.
it might be better to read the book first.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited to read and watch.
Are you going to read and watch everything we recommend?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say we should have made a checklist.
Yeah.
Check it off when you're done.
I feel like
I
if you
will.
just pick one from each of us, that's pretty good.
I will try to go through the entire list. I can do it.
Wow. In what span of time?
Before
I
you
don't know.
die.
Yes.
There you go. Perfect.
But I didn't say when I'm going to die.
That's true
So-
too.
You don't know.
Nobody knows.
That's true.
But Thank you.
Yeah.
Should I watch the show as well? Is that part of the assignment?
It's not part of the assignment, but you should.
Okay, I will.
It's really good.
My second choice is John Green's
Okay.
The Anthropocene Reviewed. This is a book of short essays, which are like 2 or 3 pages.
Perfect.
It's really short.
It is. What these are, the subtitle is Essays on a Human-Centered Planet. So each of these essays has kind of 4 parts. One is some sort of historic context that the topic falls within. Then what John Green's connection is with that topic. Then we have to pause. We're being summoned by Avery. They need us.
Yes, we'll be right back.
Be right back.
We're back from helping Avery and all the patrons.
All the patrons.
Every single one of them.
got very
There were so many.
All of them lovely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So as a reminder, I was talking about John Green's Anthropocene Reviewed. And I think I was in the middle of talking about how the essays are structured because so they start out with some sort of historic context. Most of them have some sort of pop culture connection. So how that element in pop culture connects with, history. And then John Green gives his connection with that particular topic. And it's not just this is what I think about that topic. He has some sort of connection to all of the topics that he writes about.
Okay, that's cool.
Then after he gives his connections, he talks about how this item and what this item says in greater context about humanity as a whole. And then he gives, which is kind of a weird structure, but then he gives kind of his thesis at the end of the essay, along with a 5-star rating of that topic.
That's really interesting.
So, for example, if the topic was Christmas wreaths, it would be Christmas wreaths. I give them 4 stars. So it's really funny because at the beginning of the book, there's an introduction, and he talks about how subjective the 5-star scale is, but how people don't know how to function and rate things if it's not done on some sort of scale.
Yeah.
So the 5-star scale is the one that he decides to use. And there are essays in this book. They range from the Lascaux cave paintings to Mario Kart to the Bonneville Salt Flats to Jersey Dudek to Canadian geese.
So interesting.
It's very your brain. You will find something in this book that you connect with.
I'm subscribed to both him and his brother Hank on YouTube. They're both very funny and
this
interesting
started out as a podcast during COVID.
So cool.
And so a lot of these entries also have a corresponding podcast episode that's 10
cool.
minutes long. And so a lot of times I will read one of the essays, but then also listen to the podcast because there are slight variations between the two. So
Makes sense.
Because he expands on some of the stuff.
Sure, but
That's
you
super
can
cool.
get through an essay in 5 minutes. So
that's
that's perfect for you and your popcorn
Neurodivergent
time.
brain. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a good
Fair.
recommendation. I want to
It
read
is.
that one too.
Thanks. It's a good read.
Like I said,
Yeah.
he's a very likable guy.
Yeah,
He is.
I like them
agree.
both on TikTok too.
Yeah. I don't think I've read any of his books.
I haven't read any of the fiction books.
I've read a couple. I know I read The Fault in Our Stars a long time ago, and I think I might have read one more, maybe Looking for Alaska.
I remember the ALA conference. I think it was the year before COVID. So it would have been the 2019 conference. Turtles All the Way Down was coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And he was at ALA, and he had and lines at ALA are crazy for authors. And when I say, I mean hundreds of people. His line was by far the longest line I have ever seen for people waiting to meet him and get their book signed.
It's crazy.
That's really cool that he did that.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go to ALA when Michelle Obama was there?
I did.
In Chicago?
I did.
Whoa,
And I was
that's
there for the
cool.
opening session. That may have been the same one, actually.
Oh, and his
That
was
may have been the
longer?
same one.
That's crazy.
Hers was an opening session, not a book.
Oh, I
Oh,
see.
okay.
So
I couldn't remember if it's for
she
becoming or
was
not.
a speaker.
Okay.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did the opening address for the whole
Okay.
conference.
That's
so
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm excited. Getting pumped.
My next one, they're out of order. Oh, crush. That's okay. I've got Eragon.
Okay.
Which I was kind of surprised that you didn't read because I feel like it was one of those big fantasies.
Right around
Yeah.
the time where you would have been reading.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think you probably don't read as much YA. And
True.
I think you should. I think you would like it because it's got
think so.
all the hallmarks of most fantasy.
Yeah.
But it is a little shorter and a little less dense than a lot of fantasy. But I know that you like really good descriptions of the layout of the land and stuff. You were
Yes.
saying that the other day, and I think Eragon does a good job with that.
It does.
Which I can't stand because I don't care.
Like,
I know I'm gonna get lost anyways, so I never look at the maps and I just skim it.
lost
I'm like, I don't care. Wherever you say you're going there. I trust you. But you'll probably like that.
Great.
He does a good job with that.
okay.
I like the maps. I do spend a lot of time looking at the maps.
Yeah, I never do.
Same.
I look at
I
it
do.
when I open it and never.
Oh, I do.
I hate being confused. So I'm like, okay, they
He's
traveled
really
from
good
here
at
to
that.
here. I need to see it.
Well, you'll like this. I think there's a lot of travel, and the whole series.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I had a senior seminar when I did my first undergrad degree. And for my senior seminar, my capstone project was creating like a 6x8 foot map of Middle Earth
Oh
that
my
I
gosh.
drew
That's
by
so cool.
hand.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
I know. That was fun. I loved
Quite
it. Every
undertaking.
minute, I loved it.
Yeah, that's really
So,
cool. I would struggle. No spatial awareness at all.
I
can't.
struggle too, and I think that's why I'm obsessed with maps because
Sure.
I'm like, I feel
Yeah.
like my brain is like at odds with my ability to like process stuff.
We had like opposite reactions. You were like, I'm gonna try harder. I'm like, I'm giving up,
I give up.
immediately.
No,
I
thank
don't
you.
care. I get like every time they say west or east, I'm like, left or right? I don't know.
It's like my son, who's 21, that I still have to say driver's side or passenger side.
Oh my gosh,
because he
that's so
left
funny.
or right means nothing to him.
I can
so
do left or
interesting.
right. I can't do east, west, south, north, whatever.
You know,
I don't care.
ex NFL legend Gus Frerotte
No.
used to get lost going to stadiums, even if he had been with the team for a long time.
Nice.
That's so funny.
He sustained a career-ending injury when he scored a touchdown by running it in, and then he celebrated by headbutting the
the goalpost.
goalpost. And he just like
With his
collapsed.
helmet on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was that
but
bad.
still, it was long
Yeah.
enough ago where they didn't give much protection.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that
and
makes
like
sense.
it was his neck, like
Oh.
it was like a spring, and then he just collapsed like a sack of potatoes.
What a bad way to go. How?
Yeah, right. No
Terrible
kidding.
way to end your career.
Broncos legend Gus Frerotte. Played with the team for like 4 games.
Oh, that's rough.
Legendary.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, good.
I think you really
expect.
like it.
Good choice.
My next choice for you is a nonfiction choice, and it is Devil in the White City
Ooh,
by
okay.
Eric Larson.
Read it.
You have? Yes, I win already.
Hey, there we go.
The best readers.
I don't have to do anything. Done.
Everybody wins.
Well, since our readers are going to want to know what this book is and why I'm recommending it, it is a nonfiction title, and I love Eric Larson's style of writing because he's
too.
very conversational, and it's not just dry facts. His nonfiction is written like fiction.
I love that.
It's so good. And I all of his books I have read, and this one I really liked. There's a really interesting juxtaposition in this book, and what the premise of this book is it takes place during the build-up, construction of, and carrying out of the World's Fair in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And so it's kind of a story of two men. One is the man who is the architect of the World's Fair and is in charge of building these amazing things that are going to show the epitome of humanity. And then the other person who's highlighted in the book is H.H. Holmes. And
I didn't expect that.
in parallel, as the man who is building the Chicago World's Fair, H.H. Holmes is building his murder hotel. And
That's crazy.
and it is. And it's really, really captivating, the story of both people and how H.H. Holmes used the World's Fair to carry out his dastardly deeds.
That they were.
And so kind of a story of two constructions, one something beautiful and one something horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a fascinating way to like put those as like parallel.
It really is, and I
jarring.
enjoyed that book immensely.
Me too.
I actually listened to the audiobook, and Scott Brick is the narrator of that audiobook. He's one of my favorite audiobook narrators, and he does a really, really wonderful job of bringing the characters to life, even in a nonfiction book.
Yeah, that's really
So,
good.
I feel
Yeah,
like that takes talent.
it does.
It was, really jarring, but like so well written, and I feel like it like ruined his other books for me because it was so well
It
done.
is. It is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like his other books were really good too, like the Lusitania.
That was the first one of his I read, and that's
Okay.
the one that kind of sucked me in. And then I think I read Thunderstruck next, and then I read this one, and I was like, best nonfiction book ever.
Yeah,
Wow,
honestly,
okay.
Yeah.
so good.
Good.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll read it again though.
Yeah,
Do
It's
it.
been a long time since I've read it.
Sure.
And that's one that I think about like fairly frequently.
I think
just
about
'cause
that
it's
one a
so well
lot. A
done.
lot of what I know about H.H. Holmes and the World's Fair comes from
Same.
that
That
book.
makes sense.
So, yeah.
It's one of those books that you'll have just like a passing like fact go through your brain. And it's like, oh yeah, that book was
That's
great.
what I learned. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
Absolutely.
reread of like very much, do you?
Some
Unless
of them
it's
were,
The Expanse book one.
yeah, I've read that 3 times. There's a few books that I read the first of the series like 3 times. Not because I wanted to, but
The first is always the best. Oh, because you forgot.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that
like, I
makes
don't want to
sense.
start over. The guy that gave me the board game, he just stopped talking to me because he was like, "Oh, you've seen this one thing," and then he's like, "What do you think of the rest of it?" And I'm like, I don't go past the first season, the first book.
You don't. Like most of the
Never.
books that you said on the podcast, you're like, and there's a series I didn't read. There was one.
Yeah.
Well, this one's really good.
Yeah.
Book one was great.
Yeah, just like a little taste.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What if it gets worse?
exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
that's
what
true.
Thomas
It can
said.
never be as good as book one, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
I think
exactly.
all the books I picked for you are series, but they, like
fine.
that doesn't matter for you.
I've read all of Malazan.
Yeah.
Nope, no, I haven't. The first 3.5 books.
Oh.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah. But like those are large and they get better. So yeah, I can do a series and I'm more than willing to.
Okay. All right. My next one for you is Percy Jackson and the Lightning
Hey,
Thief.
okay.
It's like a tween book, so it's very short,
Okay.
very like fast paced, and the writing style is funny, but not in a way that I dislike. So I think you'll be able
Probably. Yeah.
to handle it.
It's like more clever than like
Yeah, it's very
funny.
clever.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
like 11-year-old boy being goofy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's just like silly and like very like what's the word? Where he doesn't take himself seriously.
Yeah, self-deprecating.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
self-deprecating and like, but not in a way that's like annoying because sometimes
Right.
that's too much.
Okay.
It's just very like pleasant and like, well, a lot of bad stuff happens, but but it's still a tween
People
book.
die everywhere.
Constantly. So like it always like is okay at the end.
Okay.
And I think he sets. Oh, sorry, I'm hitting your foot. He sets up like the rest of the series really well in this one, and then the series after that is really good too.
How many books are in this series?
5.
Okay.
6 now.
True, 6 now, and
Oh,
the 6th
yeah.
one is really good.
Did you
Okay.
read it
I
already?
did just read it. It was
Okay.
really good. I was really nervous, but I liked it a lot.
It has been a while, Uncle
Yeah.
Rick.
And he's doing 2 more after that.
Oh, okay.
so,
Crazy.
yeah.
Nice.
Was it Christopher Polini? Was he the one that wrote
Paolini.
Eragon when he was like 15?
Yes.
Okay.
He started
Yes.
it when he was. I was just reading about it because I had mentioned to somebody that he wrote it when he was 15, and I was like, I don't know if that's true, but he did start when he was 15 and then published it when he was 19. So
Interesting.
His parents ran the publishing company, though, so that might have had a little bit something to do with it.
for
Not
sure.
that it's not a great book,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it helps.
yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It does help.
I
But
have a question
very good.
about the new Percy Jackson book.
Yes.
Is he the younger age in that book?
It's
Okay.
after.
So it's after the Heroes of Olympus?
After Heroes of Olympus, before Trials of Apollo, I think, because somebody that dies in Trials of Apollo
Okay, is alive.
Yes, is not
Okay.
a character, but they mention his name, if I remember
Interesting.
correctly.
Okay.
Which I was surprised. I was like, that is such a weird, specific place to say
It
this.
really is.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. All
I
right.
can't wait to know what you guys are talking about.
You won't know for
You won't.
so many
It'll-
books.
it's-
Yeah, I
yeah.
know.
That's
It'll
like-
be,
series is-
it'll be years, friend.
That's
It'll
like
be years.
13, 14 books away. But like this
Okay.
series is 5.
Can't wait to read
Even if
this
you
book.
just read that book, it's really good on its own.
I feel like I'll get hooked.
Yeah.
Probably.
You'll like Percy, I think.
My last choice for you is a graphic novel,
Okay.
and it is
Firefly.
Firefly, New Sheriff in the
Canon.
Verse.
That's
Part
beautiful.
1 and
It's
2.
gorgeous.
They are canon, absolutely. And they take place during when the show would have taken place.
Okay.
So the plot tells
So everybody's still alive.
everybody is still alive. Yes, everybody is still
On
alive.
board.
It tells the story of Mal Reynolds and his mother, who has gotten
Okay.
herself into a bit of a pickle. And Mal gets captured, and the only way for him to get out of execution is for him to go capture his mother and bring her in.
Okay.
And as you can expect, things don't go as expected.
It'd be boring if they did.
Right.
Yeah. So the alliance is after her, and he and his mother don't particularly get along well, and so he's very torn about saving his own skin or saving the woman who gave him life, even though they don't like each other.
That's tough.
So shenanigans happen, hilarity ensues, and all is wrapped up at the end. But
Okay.
it I know how much you love Firefly.
I do.
The art is gorgeous, and we get to see some dearly departed and dearly beloved characters again.
That's nice.
So excited.
Yeah.
That's so interesting that they're set during the time of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything
Thank
else
God.
that does that. That's like canon. Still.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have to think about that. The novels of the librarians.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There are 3 of those, but that maybe no, because there's some Expanse graphic novels,
Oh my gosh.
and those probably take place throughout the
Yeah.
show because all the same
So-
characters are
So
in
much
it.
story.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's never ending.
Okay. I'm
Beautiful.
excited.
Yay!
Gorgeous.
Okay, my last one.
A little
is-
overwhelmed.
You're overwhelmed.
No, that's good.
Do you don't want one more? Just put this one back.
Put it in.
This one's gonna bring good discussion.
I think
Okay.
so. The Hunger Games.
Oh, okay.
Because I think I've told you before that you would probably like it.
Yeah.
And I really think you would. This might be of all my recommendations, the one I think you would like the most.
Okay.
It's pretty different, I think, from most things that you read.
Yeah.
But it's got like that war angle.
Right. It does. You're
Yeah.
right.
By
Yeah.
the third book is like a war book, and it has a lot of commentary that I thought was very
Yeah.
interesting.
There's a lot of politics too.
Yes, and it's like still subtle, like because the main character doesn't care at all.
Right.
She has
Sure.
nothing to do with it.
Yep.
She's seen a lot of stuff by the end of the books.
It's true.
Seen the movies.
Yeah, you've seen the movies. Okay, and you liked them.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Like J-Law.
Yeah, I like her too. And who plays Effie? What's her name? She's so
Oh, shoot. I have been inundated with Ballad of Songbird and Snakes videos lately, but I can't remember right
good.
now off the top of my head.
She's so good. Like she's very well known. Everyone would know her name. The audience hates this right now. It's okay.
Donald Sutherland
It's not
is in
Jessica
it as well.
Chastain,
No.
is it?
No.
She was in Zero Dark 30.
Well, it's not her.
Okay.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes, his
Oh,
last
yeah.
movie was Catching Fire.
Yeah.
Lenny Kravitz.
Sam
Lenny
Claflin.
Kravitz. Yes. And who plays Hamish?
Woodsy Hairless.
Yes,
Willie.
Woodsy
Hairless.
Harrelson. That's right.
Woodsy Harrelson.
He is hairless.
He is. It's like a sphinx
Typically.
cat.
He's
In
got
real
hair
life,
this
he's not
movie.
hairless
Okay.
in the movie.
Yeah, he's got beautiful,
Disappointing.
terrible wig hair.
He does.
does.
That's true.
It's really
It's like
works,
Harry's hair in Dumb and Dumber with a part.
You got to see that movie.
though. Elizabeth something. Is that her name?
Yes.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yes.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yep.
She's so good.
Josh Hutcherson.
Yes. Yeah. Great cast.
Yes.
None of them are in the book.
Yeah, none of them are in the book.
But
But
the
you
book
can
is so
imagine their
good.
faces
Yeah.
while you're reading
Yeah.
the book.
Yes.
The book is more raw, I think, and more brutal. A lot of stuff is toned down in the movies because they want, younger teens to be able to watch it and get a
Yeah.
PG-13 rating, which
Yeah.
totally get it. But the books are very, very brutal.
Yeah. I guess they kind of have to be when there's, people dying. Well, it's like the central concept of
Yes.
the
Yeah.
series.
Yeah. I think you would enjoy the commentary not being like in your face.
Sure.
And I think Katniss is a more interesting character than people give her credit for.
Well, I worked at. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, the resurgence of interest in the books since the Ballad of Songbird and Snakes movie came out has been really interesting to see. And a lot of these kind of themes and issues are coming up again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been
that's
seeing
really
a lot of
interesting.
interesting fan theories on Reddit and TikTok.
Yeah,
and
me
stuff.
too.
Yeah, and I really enjoy
Yeah,
that. There's
me
some
too.
that I'm like, no, that's nonsense. But some are like, that's really good. Yeah, I don't want to. There's one that I really hate, but I don't want to spoil it for Zach or for anybody else.
Okay.
I'll tell you later.
we can talk off camera.
Oh, but it's good. It's very good.
It's got a huge fandom surrounding it. That's good.
Did you see the film yet?
I have not yet.
Okay.
I wanted to reread the book, and I just got it today because it was checked out until
Okay.
today. So I brought it home at lunch,
Makes sense.
and I'll probably read it and then watch it this weekend, maybe.
When I worked at Blockbuster, I worked with an older gentleman named Steph, and he would refuse to check this movie out to anybody
Why?
because he was like, "I'm against child death."
So is the
So-
book.
Yeah, so is
Yeah,
the book. Like,
but-
that's the whole point.
He was eccentric. He
That's
can't
kind
just
of hilarious.
refuse to check stuff out to people.
It's kind of not his job to decide what they check out. Can you
Nah.
imagine if we did that?
Like, what would you do that with? If you had to remove one thing from our shelves that people
Well,
love.
the bell curve is off the shelf already.
Oh, it is
True.
indeed.
I'm not sure. There's a lot of books that I personally dislike, but I still think have merit. Like,
Yeah.
people
Sure.
can still read them.
That's a
So I don't
trick
know
question.
what I would do. Probably nothing.
Very
Probably
anti-censorship.
wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I think
Right
I
answer.
asked you that question in your interview or something similar.
Probably, honestly, probably. Yeah, that is a question that tells you a lot about
Yeah.
if someone should work here or not. Yeah.
I came in with a list and I still got hired.
Like, we'll keep
Make
you
a
at your
change.
desk away from the patrons.
I could not hire you, Josh.
That's all kind of fading.
You're fading. Oh,
It's
no.
been a while since I've gotten
The Josh.
the Josh
Yeah.
bomb dropped on me.
Josh.
It's been since one of our friends members looked at my name tag and he was like, "Hey, Josh."
I get Cole or Cleo. They're like, they
if
just
people
kind
haven't
of.
seen it written,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like,
Yeah.
occasionally they'll be like, how do you say that? And then I tell them and they never say it right after that.
It's a tough one.
interesting.
What?
It's a tough one.
Apparently. I didn't think so, but apparently.
The CH making a cuss sound is bizarre.
Yeah. But that's
Yeah,
not the
it's
part that
not
trips
like
them
everyone
up.
doesn't say Christmas all the time.
Or keys.
Or choir.
Keys? How do you
Or-
spell keys?
CHEESE.
Jeez.
You get what I'm saying.
It's a great Colorado education.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Putting us on blast. Say crayon.
Crayon. How do you say it, Brittany?
Crayon.
You say, oh, okay. Oh, everyone's better and fancier than me.
No, I try to do what I can. If I was by myself, I might say crayon.
Yeah.
But I try to say things very deliberately when I know my children are learning how to spell.
That's smart.
Because
Mm-hmm.
they don't hear some of the sounds if I am lazy in my speech.
That's true. That's fair.
It's not lazy, it's Midwestern.
That's true. Lazy.
Yeah.
It's synonymous with
Yeah. He also says garage, which I've never said that. I always say garage.
Oh, so we say garage
Yep.
with a
Garage.
yeah.
Garage. Yeah. Very fancy and
That is very fancy. Fancy schmancy.
It's the gross sounding word.
It is.
It's like garbage.
Any way you say it.
It is kind of like garbage.
Yeah,
I
just
agree.
move the R.
Yeah, add a B.
Move the R, add a B, get some garbage.
That's what I've always said.
What are we talking about next week, guys? Also, thank you for the pile of
We haven't
suggestions.
planned it. Are you going to pick one from each stack or are you going to
Yeah,
think
how
about
about,
it?
how about you pick one to start with?
I'm going to check all of them out now.
Oh,
And
okay.
you're going to peruse them. Then you're going to
Yeah.
be overwhelmed and you're going
Yeah.
to be like, I can't pick.
Is that too
And then you'll put
overwhelming?
them all to the side and you won't read any of them.
I like to check out a bunch of things at one time and then I put them in a stack in the order that I'm going to read them. But I can rearrange
wow.
them. But
Okay.
yeah.
So it's just a stack.
Yeah. It has meaning in my head. Meaning that can change.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like that.
I can't be too rigid, but I also like to have a plan. Okay.
lovely.
We should end it. Yes.
We're gonna lose video in 30 seconds.
What are we talking about next week? We don't know.
We don't know. It'll be a surprise. Yay!
We'll see you next
ADR.
week.
Just open your mouth and we'll have.
Yeah. That's how
I got some things to say.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.